hopefully it can happen. But I'm looking to get a rematch with Canelo myself, you know. And if that means having to get another big fight and work my way back, I've done it before. And if that means, you know, getting a win over Charlo.
In a recent interview, Caleb Plant has shockingly called out Canelo Alvarez for a rematch. Meanwhile, Caleb Plant discussed how he felt against Canelo's punches. He said that Alvarez hits really hard, but it's not so shocking that it rains thunder through his body. Rather, they are decent, powered punches.
As a curious person, how was his power? How was Canelo's power? Is it what they say, or it's not as how they describe it?
I mean, you know, it's like the first punch he's going to hit you with, you know, your ribs are going to explode and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, but then I started feeling some of his shots and I'm like, oh, this isn't like, you know. And again, obviously the outcome in the end was I didn't make it to the final bell, but in the moment, you know, a lot of those, it's not like I was getting hit a lot, but some of those punches that were touching me or, you know, hit my arms, or if I would roll one off or get caught with one here or there, it's not like, you know, something where I was like, oh man, you know, petrified or something like that. I don't know. So, but in the end, you know, he got the job done.
Caleb is convinced that a fight with an undisputed champion doesn't always come around, so it was his luck that got him the Canelo fight. Before fighting Canelo for the first time, Plant discussed that it was his big moment to shine and to become undisputed. Plant wanted to solidify his position as a world-class fighter, but things didn't go his way. He said that he was happy with his performance against Canelo, and he wasn't hiding just so he could be embarrassed about his fight. Caleb discussed in detail just how well he fought against Canelo. I put up a good fight, and then in the end, you know, I went out on my shield, and you know, he dropped me. I got back up, then, you know, he dropped me again. I got back up. I'm telling the ref, like, no, I'm trying to keep going, but you know, the ref did his job, and you know, he protected me from myself. Plant commented that some fighters are just too tough for their own good, and he is one of those fighters as he does not back down from a fight. Canelo Alvarez beat Caleb Plant good in their first fight, but Plant is not satisfied with his defeat, and he is anxiously looking to run the whole fight back.
You know, I'm looking for me and Canelo to run it back, and you know, he told everybody like, hey, y'all need to start fighting each other. Like, everybody wants to fight me. Right. You know, why don't y'all get to fighting each other? So, you know, I've been doing that, you feel me? So
later on, Plant discussed the mutual respect that he has established with Canelo ever since they fought, because Plant supported Alvarez during their press conference. While reflecting on his beef with Canelo, Caleb added on the trash talk in boxing. Obviously, there's going to be competitive tension between them, and but as long as the trash talk beforehand is kept within the realm of boxing, which is, I can beat you up. No, I'll beat you up. Oh, you're this, you're that, you know, name calling and stuff. That's all good, you know. Plant discussed the possibility of a rematch against Canelo because there is no other person left for him to fight at 168. He revealed that both David Benavidez and David Morrell have moved up to 175 because they didn't get the fight with Canelo.
You know, I feel like it's a worthy fight, but I've never been the type of guy to beg for a fight. I'm just going to, you know, continue to go out and face the people that they put in front of me and, you know, chase the biggest fights that I can. But with that being said, you know, David Morrell is moving up to 175. He was the WBA regular champ. You know, if I had to assume, I would feel like I'll probably be elevated to WBA regular champ. Canelo being the WBA world champion makes sense. You know,
Caleb Plant discussed that he had a very competitive fight against Canelo the first time. Although Canelo knocked out Plant in the 11th round, he put up a challenge for the Mexican superstar in November 2021. Caleb also stated that he and Canelo had the third highest pay-per-views since 2019, so the undisputed champion Canelo Alvarez might see this as a good opportunity for another payday. Alvarez couldn't achieve the same pay-per-views he had with Plant even against Triple G in the third fight or with Bivol. Caleb further discussed that once the trash talk goes to people's family and their wives and children, then it goes out of hand. Plant said that Canelo pushed him during their face-off, but Alvarez realized his mistake and apologized in the ring after the fight was over. Alvarez has respect for Plant, and Caleb has returned the favor because he believes they will be future opponents. Caleb further stated that he had 80,000 buys with Canelo, and he has a good Latino influence. He is focused on the fight ahead, which is with Trevor McCumby on September 14th following the Canelo Berlanga undercard. Plant commented that he doesn't want anybody to hand him victories. If he wants the Canelo rematch fight, then he would have to work his way to the top once again. Plant discussed how he faced up against Canelo, who is a relatively shorter guy. He said that the experience counted a lot, and that is something that a boxer can't get in training sessions. Caleb discussed further, you got to walk through the fire to get that, and you know that that experience isn't coming until you go and get it. So, I feel like the biggest thing for me was just getting that experience. You know, I had like 21 fights maybe going into that, and so, but you know, I feel like I've gotten that experience since then. On the other hand, Canelo and Caleb had a really intense face-off during their press conference in 2021. Canelo nearly pushed Plant off the stage while Plant responded with a slap.
Don't get paid.
Moreover, Caleb returns to the ring on Mexican Independence Day after a year-long layoff. He explained how he feels stepping back into the training camp, which will lead him to bigger fights.
Man, feeling good. It's been a little, minute since I've been in the ring, but, I've been using my time real wisely. Like I said, the press conference. And coming into camp, this is the best that I've ever looked, whether it be conditioning-wise, strength-wise, sparring-wise. So me and the team, we really been putting in a lot of hard work.
Caleb discussed that he spent a lot of time in the gym to train hard for the fight ahead, and he is doing sparring sessions. He also enjoyed traveling back and forth to Philadelphia and spending time with his dad and family. Plant stated that he had plenty of delay going into his next fight because he fought David Benavidez in 2023. This was mainly due to his new deal with Amazon Prime because he and his team had to sort things out. Moreover, Caleb discussed his new relationship with Alvarez. He stated that there is definitely some competitive tension there, but their relationship has improved since they have already had their share of fights.
I'm sure there's some competitive tension down there somewhere, but at the same time, we've had our fight, and we shook hands after, and showed each other respect after a fight, like you should do. And since then, I think he's seen me at the Jaime Munguia weigh-in, and so he come up, gave me a hug and shit like that, and that was cool. And
Plant shared that it was a really cool moment that Canelo had his back during the press conference with Edgar Berlanga. Alvarez's immediate opponent Edgar started talking dirty about Caleb, so Plant became furious and got up to give Berlanga a shut-up call. Canelo interrupted the moment by saying that he is going to take care of Berlanga for Caleb. The Canelo fight has stirred some bad blood between Caleb Plant and Edgar Berlanga. Both of them almost traded blows with each other after the press conference.
Break it up! Not talking in each other's mouth! Stop it!
Check your glasses. What are you talking about? So is this a fight that you want to have happen next? We're not fighting. We worried about September, and after that, I'm not gonna.
Caleb gave Berlanga a stern warning to slap him because Edgar has threatened Plant more than 3 times. Caleb explained that the haters shouldn't be worried if they come to brawl anywhere they meet.
And I'm just letting y'all know now. There's been about 3 or 4 times that he's done threatened to smack me in my face. And, a couple of y'all are like, oh man, Caleb getting into it with this person, he's getting into it with that person. This is like the 3rd or 4th time now he's done threatening to smack me in my face. So when I wind up putting my foot in his ass, I don't want to hear nobody in any comments talking about, oh, Caleb, why is he? Yeah, well, step to me, threatening me that you're going to smack me in my face. See how that works out. So in the meantime, I'll see y'all at 10 a.m. on EdgarBerlanga.com, man. I appreciate you.
While talking about how Berlanga would stand against Canelo, Caleb revealed, he's got to be able to use boxing skills he doesn't have a chin that he doesn't have, and have the experience that he doesn't have. Meanwhile, Edgar Berlanga and Fat Joe both ridiculed Caleb Plant for supporting Canelo Alvarez in his upcoming clash.
So what I don't understand is the guy, Caleb Plant, he had a shot, he got knocked through the ropes. Why are you worried about your fight?
Yeah, he another dude. He got a whole other fight he had my press conference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like what is he doing? Like what is he
dude,
talking about?
clout
And you got
chasing.
knocked through the ropes. It's almost like signing in. It's almost, it made me feel like Rikers Island or something. The guy done got his whip. Now you want to big up the guy whipped his fight. No, I never seen nothing like this in my life.
You over here hugging him and all. I'm like, yo, this dude's a...
No, it's unbelievable. He signed in legend.
Yo.
On the opposite end, Caleb Plant responded to his immediate opponent, Trevor McCumby's claim that he had quit boxing. Plant pointed out that Trevor will know who really quit boxing on September 14th.
I'm coming in for his heart, and I want to see what he has, and we've seen him quit. He quits.
Him saying I quit, I haven't seen that. That's my first time hearing that. For him to call me a quitter, that's nice to know now. We're gonna figure that out.
Caleb added that he has a lot of experience with boxing because he has fought the biggest names in the division like Canelo and Benavidez. Plant explained that he has a lot of animosity going into the fight with McCumby. He said that anyone who is trying to get in the way of his dreams will taste a piece of his power. Caleb said that Trevor had made some demeaning claims against him going into the fight. Trevor said things like, Caleb doesn't respect the sport of boxing and he only wants money. Caleb was absolutely furious at Trevor's false claims because he explained that he has always respected the sport and chased the biggest fights. Plant wants to give the fans what they want, as he is putting his best foot forward and trying hard to cement his legacy during the fight. Moreover, Plant showered disrespectful comments at McCumby as he said that he took a 4-year layoff. Trevor does not have the excuse of pointing fingers at Caleb because he was the one that actually took the 4-year layoff, which speaks volumes about his disrespect to the sport. Plant added on what he will do to Trevor. I'm ready to show the fans what a good old-fashioned whooping looks like. His gowod has got to go. It's out of here. Plant further commented that Trevor is 32 years old, and he has only had 28 professional fights, plus he also tested positive for PEDs on 2 separate occasions. Trevor made some disturbing comments about Caleb in which he declared him a quitter, which can be seen in Plant's fight with David Benavidez. Plant gave his stern response to Trevor on his comments that he had quit the sport. Caleb said, I mean, I've never quit, so I don't know what he's talking about. Obviously in the first 6 rounds of the David fight, things were going really well. Right at the end of the 6th round, I got hit with a shot right in the liver, and it was like right on the money too. And soon as I starting to get over that, in the 8th round, I caught a headbutt. Meanwhile, Caleb had some negative comments of his own about Trevor. He said that the first time he faced off with Trevor, he could see the stutter in McCumby's voice because he sounded nervous. Plant was of the opinion that people can tell a lot when they are face to face. They can feel their energy, their entire aura, and their emotions can be seen in the eyes. Moreover, Caleb discussed his future in the 168-pound division. He said that his future is looking bright, but he is focused on the fight ahead. Caleb doesn't want to distract himself from the challenge at hand by naming the next fighters he wants to fight next.
I think the future is bright. Right now, I don't really, you already said it because you know my answer. And that's just focusing on the fight that's in front of me. We've heard so many fighters, get on interviews and talk about who they're going to fight next and who they're going to be next and what they're going to do next. And then how many times have those fighters come up short in the fight that they were supposed to win to get there? And, I don't plan on making that same mistake, so.
Furthermore, Caleb shared exactly why he thinks Edgar Berlanga won't be able to defeat Canelo. He said that Canelo will successfully stop Berlanga within the 8 rounds because Edgar doesn't have the required skill to go up against a champion. Caleb shared that he has seen Berlanga being dropped and stopped countless times during the amateur fights, and this will be far from anything new. Caleb Plant has fought both Canelo and David Benavidez, but sadly lost to both opponents. He compared both fighters' punching power by stating, Canelo hits harder for one punch. He hits harder than David. Obviously, David has good momentum. He's the bigger guy. He throws a lot of punches and has a good frame. However, David puts them together not just better than Canelo, but most people in boxing. David can put his hands together. Plant further praised Canelo for his intelligence in the ring. Canelo has the level of experience, among other things, his IQ in the ring, his command in the ring, and things like that. Furthermore, Caleb recently had a massive altercation with a fan while he was watching the Riyadh season fights. He discussed the situation where he slapped a fan backstage. Someone recorded the whole video and flooded the internet with that heated moment. Plant was committed at not revealing anything special and said that he doesn't want to share all the details, but it had something to do with the person not listening to him.
I mean, honestly, I've spoken that a couple of times, and so, I don't want to get too much into the details just so I don't, keep hitting the nail on the head on that situation. But basically, I told him to keep his hands off me, and,
Also, he was putting his hands on you.
And he put his hands on me again, and so I had to fix that. You can't walk around putting your hands on grown men.
Hence, Plant needs to roll back into the game to increase his chances of a rematch with Alvarez. A fight with fellow super middleweight Edgar Berlanga thus makes for a good case, but the chosen one had been quite vocal and upfront about his candidacy. When he became the mandatory challenger to the Mexican icon, his case became a bit stronger. So did Berlanga want to divert Caleb Plant to another track to sustain his home run towards Alvarez? What are your thoughts on Caleb's call for an intense rematch? What does Caleb need to change to beat the Mexican champion? Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this.